that this will be another interview with a client. This time it was a client that was with me for 3 months. Did really, really well. And I'm kind of just gonna get Kwesi to, well, to share his experience and see what he learned from it, right? So do you want to start yourself, Kwesi, by introducing yourself, how old you are, a little bit like gym experience, and like what you do for work?
Yeah, of course. So, guys, my name's Kwesi. I've been in JRPT, like Joel said, for 3 months. Upon starting, I was kind of not inclined 100% because when a lot of PTs would come up to me, being young, you'd assume you already know what you're doing with the gym. Well, I
Hmm.
thought I did. Well, I did have a lot of knowledge. It was actually when he spoke to my girlfriend in the gym and was asking about her goals and stuff. And then Joelle started speaking about, oh, are you hitting goals? And when she was saying, oh, a little bit, it made me think and reflect like, oh, I'm doing well in the gym, but I'm hitting a plateau in my progress and training. So Joelle was like, well, if you want to learn more, come speak to me. It was more of an ego thing I've learned. So I was like, you've got to learn to drop the ego and realize, okay, you might not be doing as good as you can be. So yeah, I messaged you out, and from then on, I
That's
learned a
it.
lot, and it went great. Yeah,
Yeah. And that's big because like how old are you?
I'm 23 now. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's big like I feel like a lot of guys are like in the 20s, 30s,
yeah,
but like the ego is always going to be
yeah,
the demise of how you
yeah,
progress. It's something I learned like very early on, and it's like I'd rather just invest and progress 10 times faster. It's like you've got very
100%.
limited time on this, not to be depressed on this, like on this life, right? And I might as well like same thing the way you think now is like you might as well just try and do everything to the most effectiveness and efficiency. And it's like, but it takes obviously that courage to be like, cool, I'll drop the ego and then
Yeah,
let me just do this. And then you come out of it and you're like 10 times better, like, right, okay, what was the point of that? The thing is, once you do it once, it becomes a lot easier to repeat. It's like they're doing that
yeah,
first time. Because now you're more open to probably doing that with other areas of your life as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So tell me, like, how long did you train before you actually came to JLPT? And like, what struggles were you facing?
Right. So yeah, before I started, I'd say to be honest, I'd been training consistently. I would say for about 2 years. However, the first year, um, or like year and a half, I was just training and kind of picking a weight up and remembering only the weights I'd lift for certain things, such as like bench press. I'd be like, oh, I remember last time I done 60 kg. I wouldn't track any of my lifts.
Hmm.
I would assume because like naturally my body, I struggled to put on weight, whether that's fat or muscle. I assumed, oh, I just need to eat lots and lots of food, whatever it is, and I'll put on size. And while that might be true to a degree, um, I didn't make as much progress as I wanted. It wasn't until I went to my uni gym and I spoke to one of the trainers there. He told me that okay, you need to have like a training program where you can track your lifts. And I'd done that for a little bit and it helped. But then after a while, I started plateauing again. So
Hmm.
from that point, I made a lot of progress, but then I plateaued, and a lot of it was to do with things I didn't know. And then I soon learned it when I came with you. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was a bit stuck at a point and just kept going to the gym almost seeming pointless, like doing the same lifts for the same reps and not actually getting any further, just going because you feel like you need to. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got into like an actual, like decent shape, you just didn't exactly get to where you wanted to be. You're
Yeah.
like kind of stick like a lot of guys that we listen to this are like even watching this back and be like, yeah, they maybe train like 2, 3, 4, like 5 years, including like myself at a time. And it's like, yeah, you've made progress. Yes, you put in the work, but it like you haven't got the exact thing you wanted. And also there's always things you want to achieve more. I get that, but to get to that point where you're like, okay, cool, all the work I'm putting into, and especially if you're a hard worker like yourself, to actually make it worth, like you're putting 100% work in, you only get 50% out, it's going to be very demoralizing, right? And
Mm,
you think
yeah.
that's the right thing. But yeah, so like, what would you say then were like, one of the biggest things you took away from it, or like things you learned?
From being on the program with you 100%, the biggest thing I learned was, yeah, ego, but the biggest thing I learned was tracking. I never used to track because I used to think in my head, like when you'd watch, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, whatever you watch, people saying, you don't need to track, you don't need to track. And while sometimes that can be true, I learned that it is actually important to track to begin with because you can actually like set realistic goals with how you're getting on. Because when I tracked, that was when I noticed the most progress. I know it can be boring after, but the thing was when you got me to track after, I'd say anywhere from like a week to 2 weeks, it became a part of my routine and it
Like a
became like
habit.
very easy. And eventually, tracking was just like second nature part of my life. The next bit was, yeah, not just tracking calories, but tracking my weight in the gym. That mattered a lot. So, yeah, tracking like bench press and seeing how my weight's improving was really important. The use of videos that helped me so much. I think Joel's program, yeah, definitely helped with confidence because when he asked me, he'd ask you to like record videos to show your form.
Hmm.
And if you've never used to record in the gym, that can be quite difficult. But even like that, with habit, now it's like second nature to me. It's not a big deal. You start off with a water bottle if you want to improve from there. Yeah, you can go to tripod or whatever. But yeah, 100%, I'd say tracking is the main thing that's helped me a lot from learning this. And yeah, like just basic things like protein, weighing myself every day. A
Yeah,
lot of people think, oh, don't do that. It's going to be bad for
the
um
health. It's the
your
opposite.
health. Yeah,
It's the
but
complete
like you
opposite.
said, yeah, doing it weekly, doing it every day versus doing it weekly can take an average. Yeah,
Yeah, it was like because yeah, it's the complete opposite. It's like the you take the emotion out of it. So and
yeah,
it's like you said, like the yeah, one of the things we improved on was a lot of actually your just training. Like you were training well, but like I said, it was more like 60-70%, and we just up that to the next level to make it really
yeah,
efficient from obviously like technical terms, form, intensity, and so on. And that kind of just put into you. And that was like a game changer because it's not like you didn't know how to train, you just like leveled it up to that next level, right?
yeah.
Um, and yeah, so what question is then, what was the thing? 'Cause you mentioned a bit like, oh, I spoke to your girlfriend first at first, and then I spoke to you. What was your um, biggest thing that when we first spoke was like, oh, okay, maybe I should just go with Raul and like actually get him to coach and go for this? Like, because he said he spoke to PTs, he said he didn't want to do it. So what was like what would you say was like the trigger or like the moment I was like, yeah, let's just do this. Let's actually.
I think for me, it was noticing that you seemed to me when I first spoke to you about you were similar age to me. I felt and I thought like, oh, someone my age will be a lot more easy sort of thing, like to understand what I want to go for in training. Because I felt like if I went for a PT who was maybe a bit older, I think maybe they have different approaches to what I would like to do. I don't know why, it was just more in my head. And then a
Hmm.
big mover for me was um I've always been interested in fitness, football being my main sport, but I was always interested in fitness, and I used to always make the excuse that, oh, because I'm not progressing, it's because I'm focusing more on football, and that's why the weight's not going up because
The
I'm focusing
balance. Yeah.
football more. But yeah, also I wanted to eventually get into personal training as an option for me in the future, and I learned like, yeah, even the best coaches will have coaches because
Hmm?
like the best sprinters in the world, they don't turn down coaches because otherwise they're not going to be the best. So I think yeah, that was the main thing for me. The main thing that put me off was doing it was always yeah like, oh, you have to pay money for it. But what I did realize was anything you invest in yourself, it's always going to come back as an investment where it's better for you than just losing money. It's really worth it. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like an investment rather than a cost, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it makes sense because obviously, like you also like coach different sports. You coaching, and it's like a bit like you said, like every athlete or sprinter will have a coach. And I mean, the best athletes will have like six, seven coaches. They have a nutrition coach, they have a strength conditioning coach, they have a strength coach, they have a technical. And the good thing is, the average person doesn't need seven coaches. That's the good thing.
Yeah,
'Cause that goes into like 10, 20 grand a month, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's the good news. It's not that expensive, but.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, like if you think about the best have coaches in any industry, that is the best businesses will have loads of mentors. So if you want to be at any level, why would you not follow the same rhythm that everyone has to get there, right? It makes
yeah,
sense. I feel that's what a lot of people don't see. First, I can do this myself, like 100%, but it depends if you want to spend 10, 15 years and like. if you have a normal job, it becomes even harder and even you're not going to be as focused. Just might as well get it done the right way, right? And
Yeah,
that's a bit like what you did. You knew the basic foundations, you did it, and you were a coach yourself, so you're already in the industry, and then you still took that like next level,
yeah.
which really the thing is then like, what would you say then to someone? I don't know, maybe like similar position to you, like that's trained for like 2, 3, 4 years, maybe even the first year, done like all right, done the TikToks, done the YouTubes, got the influencer information. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
what would you say, what would you recommend to them when it comes to looking for a coach?
I would say a big part is being honest with yourself, and that's just with anything in life. If you want to improve, you have to be honest with yourself. Okay, are you doing well in the gym? Yes, but could you be doing quite a lot better? You be honest, truly honest with yourself, and if the answer is yes, there's there's no reason why investing in something's ever going to be bad because there's so much other things I always thought to myself, like, especially if you're not a big drinker, if you're not going to spend that money on that, why not spend something where your money is going to go to something that's going to be better for
Yeah.
you? I think I'd also say, yeah, 100%. Just go for it because, yeah, this was what I was going to say. Basically, if you're happy with your training, but you're not making any progress. A big thing for me was when I started your program, there was different exercises that I didn't always do, and thinking in my head, being ignorant, this might not work for me, but doing it actually
It
built
works.
my body to how it was meant to be.
Yeah.
I never used to focus on my lagging areas, for example, if it was just side delts. I never even really done any side delt training, and obviously that was a big reason for why I was lacking in certain areas. Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing, especially if you're a young person my age, if you work a job and you've got enough money to go for it, 100%, because I just feel like there's not really you can't really go wrong from there. If you're
Yeah.
the most important thing that I'd say is if you're going to do this, put 100% into it because you're only lying to yourself at that point. You can't be like, oh, I paid this money for this and it didn't go well. The reality is you just didn't put in enough effort or
Yeah.
want it as bad. Yeah,
It's like if it's worked for you and 150 other guys, then if
yeah,
it doesn't work for someone else, it's their fault. And that's not being cocky. It's just
yeah,
I've
yeah,
done it so long, it's not gonna be. It's gonna be your actually own doing for
yeah,
nothing. And it's like once you invest, especially if you come to GLPT and are like yeah, if you actually come on board, it's like you're pretty much just put in a corner. It's like, yeah, cool. Now you've got all the info. Now you've got the accountability. Now you've got the coaching. Now you've got the great programming made for you. And it's like if you go wrong now, it's on you.
yeah, yeah,
That's
100%.
scary, but that's really scary because like once you, it's like if you manage to be paid at the end of the work, like fuck. Now,
Yeah,
now I know it's me. That's like that's
yeah,
not on it. And that's scary for like most guys. It's the ego, and then a lot of guys are like believing themselves. Are like, okay, because you can have all the excuses, and then once you're in with me, and like same thing when you came to me, every time you came with me with a problem, there's a solution. There's
yeah,
no excuse for you to do things wrong. Oh, I'm really busy. Oh, I'm gonna eat out. My girlfriend wants me and her want to do this, or I'm on holidays. Like, cool, let's do it then. And it's like
yeah,
you got to want it as well, 100%.
yeah.
The big one then, because obviously you had a big transformation still. How was your body since starting, and like how do you feel like when you finished it, especially the transformation?
Yeah. So starting after all the calories and all that was sorted out, it wasn't a big deal at all. I first found the craving side hard, but I got used to it, and even to the point where it was just yeah, it's all mental more sort of thing, and yeah, like I was very like pleased with how once I was slowly dropping the calories, seeing how my body was changing, like I was getting a lot more lean, and I could see it because I never really got that lean before because I'd never consistently eat in a certain way that would get me to where I want to be. So I'd say that was brilliant. And the one thing that really like stuck out for me was not only was I losing weight, I was also gaining strength as well, which is something which, if I watched a YouTube video, I'd be like, no, there's no way you can still be improving strength on your lifts as you're losing weight. I always thought, oh, you have to bulk to put on strength.
And
And while that does help, it was nice to know, like, wow, my lifts are improving when I'm tracking it, even though I'm not 79 kg or I'm only 72 kg now, but yeah, I'm still stronger than that weight. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you're getting stronger, and that means like body to weight ratio is also going to get stronger, and it puts
yeah,
you in a really good foundation. I was like, you can see like the image here where you were at before, and even like 6 weeks in, like we lost the first 7 kilos. It's like you can clearly see there's also a lot more muscle on show,
yeah,
leaner, and to be fair, even then, I'll say the after pictures, the worst lighting. Don't know how we've done that. Like, but it's
yeah,
like, yeah, and you put on muscle, you're stronger, and it's just doable. Like, a lot of people think, oh, only beginners can do that, or so on. Like, Kwesi was training for like 2 years, like hard, and then we've still managed to do it all. It's
yeah,
just a lot of it will be just the little things that we had to work on, and everyone's got like different little issues. And once we tweak them and perfect them, then you can really achieve what you think is impossible. Or like even a lot of coach PTs. It's funny, like even in the comments, if you go sometimes to my Instagram page. I'm not sure if it was in your post. I don't think so. There was like, coach, I'm not gonna shout or blame anyone. But it was
yeah.
like, that's impossible. You must have given like steroids to your clients. They can't do that. I legit had
Mm.
to say that to me, and I laughed. I was like, Kwesi can confirm. I did not pass him steroids. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, all clean, all clean. Yeah,
we're clean.
yeah,
But yeah, it's crazy, right? When you just do the right stuff, it things work.
yeah.
But yeah, what would you say was like your biggest, what's the thing you were happiest with by the end of the program?
The biggest thing for me is, I mean, anyone as humans, any time we want to invest in something, we always look at the end goal. A lot of people they like to look at the end goal. Oh, or like a YouTube video for clickbait. People want to be, no way you lost that amount. And the
Mm.
thing that was really rewarding about this is I can clearly see a difference, and that's what I liked because I didn't want to do a program where you just look at your before and they say, oh, look at the after picture. You can see how much different it is, and you just kind of be like, yeah, a bit like when you get a haircut in the barbers and they say, oh, do you like your hair? And you have to kind of be like, yeah, it's all
Yeah,
right, even though you hate it. But this program, if you put the effort in, well, yeah, like I did, like genuinely, I can see improvements that I can't. I'm not even lying to myself. I can see it.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's a strong nod. It's not like, oh yeah, that was right.
yeah,
You came out of it like strong and with like more knowledge and skills, which then you can
yeah,
carry on forward, which is the big thing. I always say like in the programs that you join, it's like the goal is not always to just give you like a plan off you go. It's actually teach you a skill like you can then
yeah.
build on independently. Yeah. So last question, like what would you say, someone sitting on the fence, there'll be a lot of people that follow me maybe for like a year, 6 months, maybe they're like brand new from like one of my reels or something. Like what would you tell them if they're like on the fence about joining JLPT coaching? What would you tell them?
One big thing which might impact a lot of people, especially my own experiences. A lot of people says don't tell people your dreams or your goals because people who aren't in the not always but people who are maybe so for example what I mean by this is when I was thinking about starting this I'd go and tell whether that be my dad or some friends oh I'm thinking of getting a personal trainer and doing this and the response is always oh you can do that on YouTube and TikTok why do people have personal trainers then if there's YouTube and TikTok the reality is because although you could use your YouTube and TikTok having a personal trainer is someone that's going to push you because no matter how much YouTube or TikTok you have, you need to push yourself. But if you haven't got a personal trainer, that can be very hard. So for me, I found having Joel meant that I was pushing and I had to push myself. And because I've made that investment, it's forcing yourself to want to push yourself to be where you want to be. I would say that's a big thing. So do something ask yourself something do you want to really make a change be honest with yourself and if the answer is yes don't ask anyone else if you think you should make a change ask yourself and if the answer is yes go for it and
Hmm.
don't mention to anyone else until you do it and because a lot of the people that said oh you don't need to train now once they saw the results they're all like wow how did you do that if they
Yeah, let
say
me
to
get on it now.
yeah. Oh, so now
It's
you want a PT? Oh, what's his name? What's his name? Oh, so you want a PT now? And someone would be like, oh no, I think I can do it. It's like, but I always notice when people that say that, yeah, it's true. They often
yeah.
tend to stay the same position a lot.